There are some things that are positives after this relationship. One being, you no longer have to take care of anyone else's kids. Two, if you were a healthy person, they will be regretting letting you go. Welcome back to the Rebound Journal. I created this channel to be a support system for those going through breakups, and more specifically, the psychology behind why people decide to get into rebound relationships. Rebounds meaning relationships that start really quickly after you guys have broken up. Now, I got an email from a guy wanting me to do a video about his scenario where he was with someone for 4 years and she ended up ending that relationship and getting into a rebound relationship within a week after. Now, he was devastated because he had taken care of her kids. He loved their kids. He said, "Court, this feels like my heart was broken into 4 slices instead of just in half, because I didn't want kids, but I did what I did because I loved her and I wanted to make that relationship work." And he was asking, why is this so painful? Why is it that I can't eat, I can't sleep, I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around what's going on here. She threw me away as if I never mattered. And if you look at it that way, you'll be stuck for a really long time. You have to understand that there's certain individuals that can't be alone. And getting into something right away is their way of grieving and processing that relationship. I know I try to tell people often, try not to take things so personally, because if you really look at things, we are selfish creatures. Our mind is made to protect us from danger, to solve issues. And some people's minds are wired to seek out something else in order to numb that pain, to help them forget about the memories that they made with someone else. And I've actually seen people do things where they'll intentionally take their person to to places that they made memories with someone else, just so they can erase that memory and replace it with a new memory. Having this mindset of, I felt like nothing, I got threw away. Well, let's go back and think about all the things that you've experienced while you were in that relationship. There are people who never experienced love at all. There's people who have never gotten into serious, long-term committed relationships. You experienced that. You were able to have an opportunity to help with the kids. Not that that means anything right now, but it is a really enriching and fulfilling experience. And if you're someone who has high value in a dating market, you can experience that again. You may not think it now, but everything happens for the ultimate good. Maybe if you think about it, there were things in this relationship that was fundamentally broken. There were things that you didn't like in that relationship about her, and vice versa. Really contemplate on those things. Was this someone that you can consider a wife? Was this someone that got along with your friends? Was this someone that came from a good, healthy background? Was this someone who had high moral standards and can mother your kids one day if you decide to have kids? I don't know if she even wants kids anymore. Usually when someone has kids with another relationship, they're looking for someone who doesn't want kids themselves. There's an R&B artist that said that he really struggled after his marriage with his ex-wife because he believes that she never cared, because she ended up leaving and asking him for a lot of money and getting into another relationship right away. Out of that whole 15-year relationship, he summed it up as, I don't think she ever cared. Unless they're like sociopathic or they have something really going on personality disorder wise, that's not the case. So if you're not intentional about making things work and keeping things fresh in that relationship, unfortunately, you're going to encounter times where you grow apart. Because if you're not growing together, you're actually growing apart. If you're not intentionally every day about how can we make this relationship grow closer together, then by default, you're growing apart. There are a lot of men that become extremely jaded after relationships like this end, and they ended up going and being with some immediately they're jaded. They started to hate women. They, you know, are just really scorn about everything. But if you look at this as like we were two people who no longer loved each other, if we're being honest, I mean, clearly the person was no longer in love with you apparently, and that's not a slight. That's reality. If you look at it as we were just two people that ran its course, there is no way you can be devastated at the end of this relationship. It's just not possible, because if you met this person and you're of high value in the dating market, you know it's only a matter of time before you meet someone else. But it's hard for us to look at it that way when we're in the midst of it, when we feel discarded, and we're just struggling in life. So if you're the young man that sent me this email, understand that there are some things that are positives after this relationship. One being, you no longer have to take care of anyone else's kids. Two, if you were a healthy person, they will be regretting letting you go once they see that the grass isn't green on the other side. They get past the honeymoon stage and all the dopamines and the limerence stage that they have going on right now in this new relationship. So hang your hat on knowing that as someone who is single with no kids and has educated himself about relationships and just the art of letting go, this should be a really bright future for you. You are entering into some of the best times of your life. And I know people struggle because they're like, she really was the love of my life, but anyone can be the love of your life moving forward. Like, let's just be honest. You view things differently. You eat different foods. You have a different outlook in life. You should always be growing and changing. And whoever you meet during that time will most likely be the person who aligns with where you're at in that time in your life. So they might be the love of your life for now, but life is long. If you think about till death do us part, that's 85, 90 years. I mean, it takes some real oil changes happening in those relationships, emotional oil changes, in order to make things work for that long of life. So I want to thank you for stopping by. If you like this content, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.